Sabrina Carpenter has had one of the most insane style evolutions I have ever witnessed. She went from mass-produced Disney star to my agent made me wear this to several legitimate fashion nightmares. And that's coming from Sabrina.
The second one, that's actually so horrendous and so offensive that you would pull up that photo.
For 10 years, she battled these obstacles until finally, against all odds, rose to become the Bratz doll she is today. Now, almost every outfit goes viral, and she's a global style icon. It's no coincidence that Sabrina's music has also exploded in popularity this year. Short and Sweet is her 6th studio album, released on August 23rd, and it received 17 times more debut streams than her previous album release. Her music may be the main hero of her success story, but her fashion is the unsung sidekick, especially with how many viral looks she's had. So what about this style finally works? It's not just that these outfits are more flattering, but that is the most obvious reason, so that's what we're gonna start with. Fashion is subjective, so you might love some of these fashion nightmares, and that's totally fair, but there is validity in color theory and balancing proportions to make an outfit look pleasing. In 2024, Sabrina finally takes advantage of these concepts. The short and sweet era is filled with soft, cool-toned pastels, like baby blues, pinks, and yellows. There's a reason so many people think she glows in these colors, and it's because these colors are the most flattering for her. We can understand this better by using the color seasons. I'm not going to explain this concept entirely, it's a little bit complex, but just know that it uses hair and eye color as well as skin undertone to determine someone's most harmonious color palettes. Sabrina has light hair, eyes, and skin with a neutral to cool undertone. We can tell her skin tone leans cool because she looks more muted in gold, which is a warm color, but she pops in silver, which is a cool color. Given all of this, Sabrina's color season is most likely light summer. If we look at the colors that make up light summer, these are the exact colors she shines in. Slightly cool, light blues, pinks, and yellows. Previously, as a teenager, Sabrina often wore very dark and bright shades, but highly saturated colors and black are actually quite harsh on her. If you look at this photo, what do you notice first? The color or Sabrina? Probably the intense color. Whereas if you put her in lighter shades, these are more harmonious with her and they make her the focus. She also really used to be obsessed with this mustard yellow color. I don't know if this is some sort of Sabrina lore. Maybe she just really likes this color because she was in it all of the time. But mustard yellow is a warm toned yellow. This color flattens her features and makes her look almost a little bit gray. But if you put her in a cooler toned yellow, she absolutely glows. All of these yellow outfits are much cooler than the mustard yellow outfits she used to wear when she was younger. You might also notice that her hair is a cooler shade as well, which is also more flattering. Maybe you'd expect bright colors to be more attention-grabbing and more memorable, but it's her softer colors that people obsess over. This is just another reason why color is so important, and I will continue to talk about this till the day I die. It's not a midnight video if I don't somehow ramble about color. In the short and sweet era, she also has incorporated black and cherry red sparingly. While black is still a little overpowering for her, she does work with it a lot better by showing more skin around her face, which helps balance out the harshness. Wearing her best colors enhances her features rather than mutes them. Her eyes pop, her hair is shiny, her skin is luminous, which adds to that doll-like effect. Another element of a flattering style is silhouettes. Previously, Sabrina's silhouettes were boxy, with heavy fabrics, busy patterns, and quite a lot of blazers. Sabrina is so petite, so much boldness is actually a bit overwhelming for her. In the short and sweet era, her style emphasizes her figure rather than drowns it. Sabrina opts for low-rise microskirts, short dresses, and drop waists, all while showing more skin. The mini hems emphasize her legs, which makes her appear taller. Sabrina also has a shorter torso, or midsection, so hip cutouts, low-rise bottoms, and drop waists elongate her frame and bring balance. A good silhouette is also practically critically important because Sabrina is only 5 feet tall, performing on massive stages. She really needs outfits that emphasize her, not hide her. If flattering outfits with the right silhouette and color makes her unmissable. But fashion is not just about making an artist look pretty. If you saw my Madison Beer fashion video, you would know that fashion is crucial to an artist's brand. While music is absolutely the artist's priority, artists are still in the music business, and selling the music is a part of the business. It's a whole lot easier to sell if you have a good brand. Strong branding makes singers stand out from the competition and communicates the music they offer. There's usually the artist's overall brand, and this typically feeds into a specific brand of the album or projects. Fashion is part of the visual brand. Sabrina's visual brand for Short and Sweet is extremely strong, and her fashion is an excellent extension of it. Her brand is centered around 3 pillars. The first is flirty. Visually, she employs icons like hearts and kisses almost everywhere. The heart aesthetic began during her 2022 album Emails I Can't Send, with hearts on her album artwork, microphone, and stage design. In 2024, she continues the hearts, as noted by her new logo and the stage for her upcoming tour, but she's added a lipstick kiss to differentiate the Short and Sweet era. This kiss is on her album artwork, her music videos, drum set, and promo. These icons are romantic, sexy, and playful. They're flirty. Sabrina's fashion mimics this flirtiness perfectly. We have the stylist Jason Bolden to thank for so many of her flirty looks, including her viral Frolov corsets and her heart 2-pieces. In the Short and Sweet era, she's also worn several looks with a heart theme, like her Coachella set and Grammy Museum interview. She's even worn an outfit with kiss marks. However, unlike the Emails era, which was defined by structured corsetry and pleated skirts, Sabrina has opted for lingerie, like sheer baby doll dresses, nylon high socks, and garters. This is more mature, but it's not overly sexual. It's still very playful, which is perfect because the second pillar of her brand is cheeky. Sabrina is so funny. She does not take herself too seriously at all. She incorporates a lot of her humor by including dirty sayings in her promotional material and merchandise. Fashion-wise, her outfits are literally cheeky, with micro skirts, underwear, and short shorts. And she can often be spotted wearing pieces with cheeky sayings on them, even if it's her own lyrics or words. Jesus Was a Carpenter was actually her rebuttal when she faced backlash from the church for her Feather video. Lastly, Sabrina's brand is vintage. Short and Sweet is visually inspired by the 50s and 60s. Her teasers play like vintage commercials with game show voiceover and VHS overlays. Her fonts are right out of a 50s newspaper or movie poster. Her stage production incorporates retro influences from the choreo to the clips on screen. In her Short and Sweet style, Sabrina blends modern trends with old Hollywood glamour. She loves playing up that Marilyn Monroe-esque aesthetic with the big curls, red lipstick, and diamonds. Jared Ellner is another one of Sabrina's stylists, and he's done a lot of her vintage looks that I just adore. He styled her Short and Sweet album photo shoot, her SNL performance, and these 2 after-party looks. Back in the day, Sabrina's branding was very varied, from quirky to casual to glamorous. There's nothing wrong with any of this on its own, but it is a lot more difficult to see a clear through line of who she is. Her brand now actually incorporates a lot of these same elements, from funny to glamorous, but is a lot more visually consistent. It's so cool to see that her gaining so much confidence has really helped emphasize who she is as an artist. Not only does this consistency create a clear brand, it also increases her recognizability. No matter what event Sabrina is at, she is so consistent with the way she looks. For example, she's worn flirty outfits on stage, in music videos, press, ad campaigns, and for her album. She's worn cheeky outfits on stage, in music videos, press, ad campaigns, and for her album. And she's worn vintage outfits on stage, in music videos, press, ad campaigns, and for her album. She has a clear signature style, and this makes her memorable. People remember specific styles, silhouettes, icons, and colors if they are constantly repeated. You can easily pick her out as the tiny girl in the pastel-colored lingerie and platform boots. And this is so helpful with community building. I'll bet fans know exactly how to dress for her tour to show support. A signature style is also important because it differentiates artists from each other. I talked about the Pinterest test that I completely made up in my Madison video. Essentially, in my opinion, an artist has a pretty strong fashion brand if you can look them up on Pinterest, and what you see is cohesive and unique. With Sabrina, everything is consistent, but it's also different from Olivia, Ariana, or Taylor, for example. I had some comments on my Madison Beer video that said a signature style seems to be more expected of women than it is for men in the industry, but that is actually not true. We can look at Harry Styles, Bruno Mars, Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, even Eminem. They all have a signature style, so it's important for anyone in the industry, especially when it comes to marketing and to press. Sabrina's style has had so many viral moments. It was a huge topic of conversation during the Eras tour, and I talked about that in my first Sabrina video. But even in just the couple months since I released that video, she's gone viral several more times. There was her birthday look, walking the runway for Vogue World Paris, her dress for the Variety Power of Young Hollywood party, literally every single outfit in a music video. All of these have trended in some way or another. Not to mention the trend setting for her makeup and hair. I think the only fashion moment I didn't love this year from her was her Met look, simply because I was hoping for something a bit more creative. Sabrina is absolutely a style icon, and having so many viral moments that are positive is probably introducing so many people to her music who maybe learn about her from her fashion. Her fashion was actually one of the things that drew me to her with her emails I can't send to her. This flirty vintage brand isn't just for fun though, it's incredibly intentional. Her fashion understandably matches her music. Just by looking at her outfits, you could assume she makes fun pop songs, has sexy lyrics, and maybe has some sort of vintage vibe somewhere. This is exactly what you get on her Short and Sweet album. Fun pop songs on love, heartbreak, and intimacy, over 50s, 60s instrumentals with a couple jokes sprinkled in, maybe several jokes sprinkled in. There are flirty songs like Juno and Bedchem, cheeky songs like Taste and Slim Pickens, and vintage sounding songs like Don't Smile and Espresso. Short and Sweet is more lighthearted than Emails I Can't Send, and this fits her lighter fabrics and colors. This era, Sabrina is so lucky she's a light summer because pastels are often associated with playfulness and youth. The black and red that she's wearing sparingly are also lustful and sexy, which match her dirty innuendos. And I love how her hearts have had this beautiful evolution. Before, the hearts represented a heartbroken lover, whereas now it's a flirty lover who dishes out sweet kisses. It's so interesting to compare her older fashion with her older music. I did listen to her singular albums based on your guys' recommendation, and while I did enjoy them, I think there are a couple songs that were really fun. They definitely lean more generic pop. Like, they're still catchy songs, but it lacks a distinct sound. Similarly, her outfits, they're not necessarily bad during this era, but they kind of lean towards just a vague pop star in comparison to a very distinct, clear, unique fashion look now. Because remember, fashion is really important to help sell the music, so her style is essentially like subliminal marketing. Looking at Sabrina and how perfectly this entire album and rollout and fashion is packaged, it is so apparent why I'm so frustrated with Madison's fashion. I don't think she's ever gonna watch that video though, because it looks like I am a hater, but I'm not. I'm really nice to her and I wish she would watch it. Lastly, fashion helps tell stories. The most obvious example of this is in music videos. Ron Hartleben seems to be her main stylist for her videos. He styled Because I Liked a Boy, Espresso, and Please Please Please. I was gonna do a whole section breaking down her music video fashion, but I've decided I am gonna wait because I want to see what else she releases for this album, and then I'll do a video on everything all at once. For now, I will say there is not a single music video outfit that I don't like. If you had to pick which video has the best outfits, which one would you choose? Because I don't think there is an answer. But aside from music videos, fashion also helps tell the personal story of the artist. In Sabrina's case, her style evolution is a manifestation of her personal growth. Sabrina is a great example of how defining your look often goes hand in hand with defining your sound and yourself. And sometimes it really can take a decade. Sabrina released her debut EP, Can't Blame a Girl for Trying, in 2015 when she was just 15 years old. Subsequent albums include Evolution in 2016, Singular Act 1 in 2018, and Singular Act 2 in 2019. All these albums were released under Disney's record label, where she began her career as a child star. The first 5 years of her career, from the ages of 15 to 20, resemble the awkward phases of growing up. During this time, her style is mixed, from rocker to casual to bold to glamorous. And who knows if these were her ideas or if some agent or stylist just put her in these outfits, especially since she grew up in an industry surrounded by adults. But whatever the case, I think it's so endearing to visually see all this experimentation and all these missteps, even if she cringes looking back now. It's a beautiful example that success is only made from failure. Emails I Can't Send was released in 2022 when she was 23 under Island Records, not Disney. By this point, she had finally solidified her sound. Emails I Can't Send is raw, lyrically complex, and sonically very different from her other albums, much less generic pop. She sings about genuine experiences, from family relationships to public relationship scandals. This album feels so much more personal and so much more like Sabrina. Over the year of her tour, she latches on to hearts, corsets, and curtain bangs. You can tell she's working with her stylists to direct her looks, rather than giving up the reins completely. And over time, you can visually see her come into her own. Now, at Short and Sweet, it's a lighter, less painful point in her life, and her fashion reflects where she is now. Flirty, cheeky, but still an old soul. For most people, an awkward or experimental phase is necessary to figure out what the heck you want and who the heck you are. And I love that you can see that character arc with Sabrina. And I think we'll see this continually evolve as she continues to grow. Right now, she's very strategically, I think, playing off what shot her to success with the funny lyrics from Nonsense and Feather. So she's playing into that fun, flirty lover. But I do think after she sort of garnered all of this attention, her next album might be a little bit more of a serious side from her. But we'll see. That's just my hypothesis. I think what I love most about her fashion, though, is that it is both creative and authentic to her. And I'm just so excited for her because I love Short and Sweet. I thought that album was so good. It was so fun. I was trying to come up with my top 5 to share with you, but I cannot rank these songs. I find it so difficult because they're all really good. I'm gonna put 5 songs that I really like up on the screen, but they are not ranked in any way because I truly think they're all equally amazing. I don't think there's a single skip on this album. With these popstar fashion videos, I love to look at how fashion impacts the branding, storytelling, and growth of an artist. I don't really talk about the runway or designers or how these garments are constructed or anything because I don't actually know that much about high fashion, you guys, but I do know about branding and I know about storytelling and I know about visual design. So that's what I like to focus on. Let me know if you'd like more of this, what other artists you'd like to see. Though I kind of just usually come out with a video on whatever I want and whatever I like at the time. But you can let me know anyway, and I may or may not listen to you. Just depends on the vibe. Don't work late, guys, unless you're Sabrina, because she's a singer. But do make sure you have a good night, and thank you so much for watching.